In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you very quickly how to make a basic animation using the service Piskel, and then be able to export it out and be able to use it in the game engine called GDevelop. This tutorial and process is mostly for my students in my video game production class. So it's going to be more about the technique rather than animation, but whatever you are animating, let's say I'm going to animate some fire here, and I am drawing on a trackpad, so I don't have a mouse or my drawing tablet, so this is not the easiest here. Okay, so if I go ahead and just draw something like that, and I'll fill it in. Okay, so with animation, your tools are basically up here and in the top left, and I can go ahead and duplicate the frame. So I now have 2 frames, and I can go ahead and erase some of the parts of it, and you'll see up there in the top right hand corner I'm now getting a preview, which of course, here we are. Okay, and so now I would go ahead and I would draw in the changes that it's going to do. And this is not going to be very pretty, but there we are. Okay, so there we go. So you can see that it's basically going between the 2 frames. You can obviously duplicate the frame some more and make it a better and longer animation. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just close that. Alright, so now I've got, this is an animation. I did not make this, somebody in the Piskel community did, but you can see that this animation here has 6 frames, so you don't need a whole bunch of frames. As a matter of fact, if you start going to 10 frames or more, it doesn't mean that it's a better animation. It means that your game is actually going to have a more difficult time playing the animation. So try to keep your animations short and sweet. If you have something like a clump of grass blowing in the wind, that should really be about 6 to 8 frames, maybe even 4 frames, something like that. You'll also notice that this animation is what's called cyclical, meaning it's in a cycle, or it's looping. So you can see that frame 1, and you can just click on each frame so you can kind of see, and then frame 6 then loops nicely back around to frame 1. Okay, so we like the look of the animation here. How do we export it out of Piskel and be able to use it in GDevelop? Okay, so you want to come over here and click on Export. And then what Piskel needs is Piskel needs each frame saved out as a separate ping file, separate PNG. So you want to click on this tab here that says ping. And then actually, what you want to do, is that Piskel can actually save it out into something called a sprite sheet, and that would actually save out all of the frames onto one page. GDevelop, as far as I know, can't use that. So we're actually going to go ahead and choose zip. So pardon me before. So we're going to choose zip, and it's going to ask you, what do you want the prefix to be? This just gives you the ability to label all of your images. So I'm going to go ahead and just call it llama. And I'm going to go ahead and put an underscore in there, and you'll see what that does in just a moment. And then just click on download zip. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my downloads folder and look inside my downloads folder, and here's my llama.zip, and I'll double click it, and that will open it up. And let's take a look inside that folder. And you'll see that it went ahead and it used the prefix name that I gave it, llama, and then it just put the numbers of the frames here, 0 through 5. And you can see that frame 1 is actually frame 0, so don't be confused by that. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to GDevelop. I'm going to click to add an object. It's going to be a sprite. I'll name it llama. Click to add an animation, and this is where you now load up your frames. So I'll go to my downloads folder, llama, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select all of the frames by clicking on the first frame, hold down the Shift key, and then click on the very last frame. Click on Open. Remember, GDevelop will say, hey, your frames that you're trying to add in is not the same folder as where your game is stored. Do you want me to copy them over? I'm going to say OK to that always. And you'll see that it's here, and I can go ahead and click on Loop. And then, of course, you can play with the timing. I'm going to click on Preview and see what it looks like. And that actually looks pretty good. But I can slow it down and change it if I want. I'm going to click on Apply. And I'll go ahead and drag and drop in. It's pretty small and cute. Okay, and there we go. And press play. And there we go, there's the llama. Obviously it needs to move down a little bit, it's kind of floating. But that's it. That's how easy it is. All right, I will see you in the next video.